Rhubarb and ginger compote is the subject of today's Jodie's Food for Thought. My name is Jodie Bunting and this is our daily live slim tip to help you lose weight and become healthy. Right, this week it is all about avoiding processed dairy. So milk, yogurt is off the menu this week. So I'm showing you some simple breakfast ideas. Today I've got my rhubarb out and I'm going to show you how to make a nice, tasty, low-calorie rhubarb and ginger compote pot. So this is my British rhubarb, which was £1 from Asda. I haven't seen it in Aldi for a while, but yeah, the bigger supermarkets do seem to have it. So the first thing we need to do is to wash our stalks. So I'm going to have the whole thing, that whole packet, which is 200 grams, because I'm not having anything else. Check out my mum's, what are they called? Clever cutters. I never really saw the advantage of these, like what are they really for? But cutting rhubarb, they are actually perfect. So cut your ends off, get rid of those not so nice bits. And then all you need to do, rough chunks, cut it up. In fact, I can cut it straight into my saucepan. Now I have already done the other two chunks, so there is 3 chunks there. That is my rhubarb just quickly cut up. Now I'm going to add just 50 ml, I repeat, 50 ml of boiling water to my pan. And that's too much. So let's get the heat on. And as I said, you only need 50 ml because it's got quite a high water content as rhubarb itself. So this is why to stew rhubarb you don't need a lot of water because the water will come out the rhubarb naturally. The most amazing thing I always find about rhubarb is the fact that it literally goes to nothing. It's a little bit like mushrooms and tomatoes when you cook them. You know, you get quite a big amount, but it always goes down to hardly anything. Purely because it is all just basically water. Okay, so again, if I was not doing this on video, I would probably put it on a really light heat and leave it for 10 to 15 minutes just to slowly stew. But because we're on live video, you don't want to see me cook on a low heat, do you? So we've got it on a fast heat, and then we are going to see that stew along. Now today I'm going to be adding, I've got some ground ginger granules, so obviously I'm just going to add a little bit of that. If you can use fresh ginger, great. You know, the benefits of ginger, especially fresh, are so good. If you haven't used fresh ginger before, the secret is to peel the ginger. I do it under the tap with a teaspoon and just literally pull it off, and then you can grate it, and that's a really a nice way to enjoy fresh ginger. If you like it really spicy, then obviously you could chop it so you've got bigger pieces, but I find finely grating fresh ginger is a great way to do it. But if you're in a rush or you don't have time to mess around with fresh ginger, and then some ground ginger is fine. So then you have a basic compote of literally just your rhubarb and your ground ginger. I'm just going to get something out the cupboard because I want to talk about stevia. So if you prefer your compote, for instance, if you're having it on its own, then I would definitely add a sweetener. Now this is a natural sweetener called stevia liquid, so I'm going to be adding a couple of drops of that. If you were just having this compote on top, let's say, of porridge, or you were having it on top of a chia seed pudding, then you don't really need it sweet. The fruit and the ginger will give it the flavour. Then obviously you're getting your sweetness or your taste from the porridge or whatever you're having it on. If you're just going to eat a fruit compote alone, like we are today, then this is where we need to add some nuts or seeds to get your essential fatty acids in, but also to make you feel full and also get your protein and fats in as well. So today I'm going to be adding some golden linseed to my finished compote. Now I don't know whether you can see that, but it is boiling up nicely. So it's just starting to break down. I know a lot of people, when they think rhubarb, they think rhubarb crumble. and rhubarb is literally like disintegrated. So it's completely up to you how you want to have your rhubarb, whether you want to leave it cooking for a little bit longer or not. When I'm eating it like this, so without using it as a topping, then I do prefer it a little bit of a crunch in it as well. So a little bit of trial and do it to your flavour. So that is cooking along nicely. While that's cooking, I will show you the stevia again. So again, for those of you who haven't used it before, I got this one from Amazon. It's by a company called Naked Living, and basically it is from the stevia plant, and it's practically 0 calories, so it's really low. It is quite sweeter than sugar as well, so you have to be really careful to not use too much, because the problem is there is a little bit of an aftertaste. So if you use too much, the aftertaste is quite strong. The secret is just to use 1 or 2 drops, and that way you get the sweetness but without the aftertaste. So that's stevia liquid. Just have a little search. To be honest, I've never really seen it in supermarkets, so I've only really seen it online or in places like Holland and Barrett and other health food shops. Now my rhubarb is coming along nicely. I don't know whether you can see that, but it is kind of solidifying on the outside and giving it a little punch. Again, just breaking it down. As I said earlier, if I wasn't doing this on a live video, I would have put the lid on, put it on a low heat and cooked it for about 10 to 15 minutes to get the desired texture. But I think sometimes it's good to show you how to cook it fast, especially you guys are in a rush, you're on your way to work, you're sending kids to kids club in the school holidays. For those of you that do things with rhubarb, please feel free to share, guys. I know a lot of my slimmers, they've literally got rhubarb coming out their ears right now because of the season this year. It was multi-sprouting, so they had quite a few sessions of the fruits of their labour paying off. So if you have got lots of rhubarb and you do something inventive with it, please let us know. I always remember earlier on in the year I did make a post about it, and that was the forced rhubarb. Remember the forced rhubarb that I showed you guys that was in Aldi? And the strange thing was it was really really thin and really expensive. It was like $2.99 just for a set of rhubarb. So again, for those expert rhubarb growers, I wouldn't force it. Naturally occurring rhubarb seems to be the best. Right, so we are so close now, because as I said, I am particularly today not going to make it too stew-like. I just want to make it nice and soft, because again, then when we add the flavours, it is going to be tasty with some good textures. So let's add in the stevia. As I said, all you need to do is opening it up, and it's got the little test tube sort of thing, and we just need a couple of drops of that. So that will just take off that bitterness. Now the ground ginger, tiny little bit, guys. Depends if you like it spicy or not. I always make the mistake of adding too much, so I've learned not to add too much. Then I'm just going to top it once it's done with those seeds. And remember what I said, this whole packet, so 200 grams of rhubarb is in here right now, and it literally looks hardly anything. So that is, I think it's perfect. I'm just going to give it another minute or so. There's just a couple of big bits. Obviously the other trick is when you were cutting it, you could of course cut it smaller and therefore it would cook faster. And I'll just show you again, these are the Clever cutters. Again, my mum would have got them from the range, B&M, somewhere like that. But I do actually recommend them for cutting vegetables. It's actually very useful. Okay, right, let's hold it there. So let's turn that heat off. One more quick round to the side. Now the reason you should really scrape the pan is because these are the bits that actually taste the best. You know, it's that really like almost syrupy. So here I have my bowl of stewed rhubarb, and as I said, just to give it some more texture and nutritionally balance it all up, I'm going to put my seeds. These are linseeds, and that is my delicious rhubarb compote. Now this is going to be really, really hot, guys, because obviously I've just stewed it. So I'm going to take a tiny little bit, give it a little blow. Yes, this is a huge spoon, by the way. This is a serving spoon. It doesn't just look big on the video. Delicious. I love rhubarb. And that was your about 100 calories, guys. Less than 100 calories for this whole bowl of spicy ginger rhubarb compote. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with the Thursday Tums. Have a great Wednesday. See you soon. Bye for now.